All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to explore something that is, well, incredibly important: how trauma can fundamentally reshape a person's entire way of being in the world. And we're going to break this down in a way that's clear, respectful, and all about understanding, not drama.
I think we've all asked this question at some point, maybe about someone we know or maybe even about ourselves. You see behaviors that just don't make sense, reactions that seem way out of proportion, and it's confusing. But what if that's the wrong question entirely?
And this is the big idea. The fundamental shift in perspective we need to make. Because those things that look like flaws from the outside, they're actually incredible, hard-won adaptations for survival. They are feats of endurance, not signs that someone is broken. To really get this, we have to start where the changes actually begin. And it's not in someone's personality, it's not a choice. The very first, most fundamental shift happens deep inside the body's own wiring, in the nervous system itself.
This concept right here is key: hypervigilance. Think of it like this. Imagine your smoke alarm was so sensitive that it shrieked every single time you made toast. That's kind of what hypervigilance is for the nervous system. It's always on, always scanning for danger, even when everything is perfectly safe.
So what does that actually feel like? Well, it means that the body's emergency alarm, that fight, flight, or freeze response, can be triggered by something super small: a loud noise, a particular tone of voice, anything. It means you can't ever really truly relax, because your body is physically convinced that danger is lurking just around the corner.
And this gets to the very core logic that the brain has been forced to learn. See, when your past has shown you that horrible things can happen out of the blue, your brain literally rewires itself to believe this. It starts prioritizing being on guard over feeling at peace. It's a survival program, and it's running 24/7.
Okay, so we have this body that's physically on high alert all the time. What does that do to a person's emotional world? Well, when the nervous system is that scrambled, it creates this incredibly volatile internal state, one that often swings between two very powerful, opposite extremes.
And it creates this pendulum effect. On one side, you've got emotional numbing, feeling absolutely nothing at all, this protective kind of emptiness. And on the other side, emotional flooding, feeling everything at once, like a tidal wave of panic or rage that comes out of nowhere. Survivors often just swing back and forth between these two, struggling to find any kind of stable middle ground.
That emotional numbing, it's not a character flaw. It's actually a brilliant, unconscious survival strategy. The brain basically says, okay, feeling all of this is way too painful, and it installs a dimmer switch on all emotions. It's a desperate attempt to create some kind of inner peace.
So, with a nervous system on red alert and an emotional world swinging from one extreme to another, how does this actually affect relationships? This is where so many misunderstandings happen, because the internal logic of survival can look really, really confusing to everybody else.
Trust becomes incredibly complicated. Imagine wanting connection more than anything, but at the same time, having a brain that is just screaming danger every time you get close to someone. This is why you might see people push others away, or test their loyalty, or just decide, it's just safer to rely on nobody but myself.
And it's so important to understand that this isn't random. It's not malicious. It's a learned response. When the very people who were supposed to keep you safe were the source of your deepest pain, your brain learns a powerful and devastating lesson: connection equals danger.
Think about it. When your world has felt violently unpredictable, what's the one thing you crave? Safety. And how do you create safety when the world won't give it to you? You try to control what you can. You manage your own small corner of the universe with absolute precision.
And this need for control, it shows up in ways that we all might recognize. Perfectionism, where there's just no room for mistakes, really rigid daily routines, the need to overthink and plan every single detail. It's not about being bossy. It's about building a fortress against chaos.
Over a long period of time, this constant, relentless focus on just surviving can start to chip away at a person's sense of self. When all of your energy is going into just getting through the day, there's not much left over for figuring out who you are, what you like, or what you want from life. Your whole identity can become just survival. And this is the part that is so often completely missed, while these adaptations come at a massive personal cost, the process of surviving the unbearable also forges some of the most profound and powerful strengths a person can have. This isn't about glamorizing trauma. It's about seeing the whole picture. People who've had to constantly scan rooms for subtle emotional shifts often develop a scary good ability to read people. They can have incredibly deep empathy, a powerful intuition, that gut feeling, and a kind of resilience under pressure that is just mind-blowing. These aren't just personality traits, they are superpowers that were forged in fire.
So, with all of that, what does it even mean to heal? If the problem isn't a broken personality, then the solution can't be about fixing someone. The path forward is about something much more fundamental. And first, let's just be crystal clear about what healing is not. It's not about just trying harder or having more willpower. In fact, some of the most common advice people get is not only unhelpful, it can actually make things worse.
Oh, you've heard these, right? Phrases like, just let it go, or be more positive. They completely miss the point. You can't just tell a nervous system that's wired for danger to calm down. It's like telling someone with a broken leg to just walk it off. It completely invalidates the reality of the injury.
So if that's what doesn't work, what does? Well, real healing is a much deeper process. It's not about forgetting the past. It's about teaching the body and the brain that the past is actually over and that it is possible to be safe right now.
The real work is physical and emotional, not just something you can think your way out of. It's about creating new experiences of safety that can slowly, gently begin to rewire that internal alarm system. It's about learning to ride the waves of emotion without getting swept away. And slowly, carefully, reclaiming a sense of self that is more than just survivor.
If you take away only one single thing from our time together today, please let it be this.
They are not broken. They are incredibly skilled survivors whose adaptations, the very things that once kept them alive, might not be serving them anymore. Understanding this doesn't excuse harmful behavior, of course not, but it replaces judgment with compassion, and that opens the door to a path of real, meaningful healing.